Hey, welcome to AI Revolutionize Yet, where businesses get smarter. I'm Jesslyn, and I'm going to show you how AI drives real results. And because the future is awaiting, let's dive right in. He built a brand before 18. This episode is about AI getting an identity and the danger of building fast before knowing and forgetting the reason why you started. Now, let's welcome our very special guest for today, for Daivik Das. Thank you for being here. Well, Daivik, thank you for being here. Can you tell our listeners who are you and what is it that you do?
My name is David. What do I do? Firstly, I do a lot of things to be real. For one, back in school, I actually started my own esports organization named Overt, which was based in Oceania, so Australia, New Zealand. It sparked because of my interest and my kind of passion for gaming and business. Initially, I actually played competitive rugby, so I used to play quite well. And I wanted to do something more with that. But obviously, I think my academics and studies that they caught up, and I couldn't balance, my, I guess, dating career at the time and my studies together. I had a drop gaming there. But I still had this passion and the desire to really compete and do something meaningful. And so at the time, I was kind of understanding which subjects I like, which subject really kind of piqued my interest. And I ended up really liking business. So at that point, I knew what if I, combine business management with esports, my two, I guess, passions at the time. And so that led to the creation of Overt, which is an esports organization where it can allow me to do business related activities, but still being within the esports space.
Daivik, you started Overt at 17, so that was before you can legally drink. So what did you learn about leadership and building a team?
Good question, honestly. To be honest with you, I felt like the main lesson I learned is patience. Patience not only for people but for yourself. While running overt, it took a lot of, I guess, energy from me, a lot of personal energy that I could have spent spending time with friends, going out with my family. But instead, I dedicated a lot of the energy into the organization because I was really hungry for success. And there were times where I was wondering, why am I still doing this? Why am I putting in so much effort and time into something that not a lot of people actually do? And so the biggest takeaway was patience with yourself and understanding that to build something and to lead something takes your energy from yourself, not really from others. So in essence, being patient with the progress and trusting the process is very important.
It's really hard knowing that we both studied in Singapore. Singapore is a very fast-paced city.
Yeah.
Being patient with yourself is difficult. For context, for listeners, David and I, we used to study in UWC. So we went to high school together. So I remember I asked David because he was sitting next to me. But I think we were playing Kahoot. It was in a business class. It was Kahoot. And then I just asked him, what is it that he do? And I remember him telling me that he had cryptocurrency. He mines crypto. I forgot what was it about. Can you share what happened with her?
Okay, yeah. At the time, I did Bitcoin mining for a bit because I had a gaming PC, right? So as you know, crypto mining takes a lot of GPU power, and I had a really good gaming setup at the time with a very powerful GPU. And so I was doing crypto mining on the side as well to fund operations for Overt. So that's actually back in, I think, 2018, 2019. So before the crypto boom. Unfortunately, I didn't sell like my Bitcoin early on before the big pandemic. So I didn't make most of my money from crypto. But yeah, that was a fun, like, a side hustle and like understanding that whole thing. I didn't really trade crypto much, mostly just mining.
So that would be, I remember you told me you stopped doing that because not only it's energy intensive. I remember you telling me a story. This thing runs 24/7. Like your electricity bill is just horrifying. And I think one of the issues we're having during the time is we have our ID exams. Or you were very pressured to go for university, company that you're running at the same time. How do you decide what to prioritize?
Oh, that was the most difficult, I guess, series of decisions I had to make because, at one point I was making good money from overt and also it's at a point where like, what do I want to do with my life, right? And thinking about that at such a young age, I know people do decide what they want in college and such, but at the same time, you're really supposed to focus on the subjects and understand what you like in the subjects. So elsewhere, my mind was really thinking about how I could scale this business to be, something for my long term career. But at the same time, I was thinking I was at the right time. I was at the right place, right time. Because this is during the pandemic. 2020, Ovid was really doing well. But that's also because everyone was inside. And I knew the reality was this bubble of esports wouldn't last forever. So I can't just make a living forever from this. I have to diversify my own portfolio, my own expertise and skill set, so I can at least make a living outside of just overt. And so I realized that what I needed to do was put my academics first, but second, but not too much below, just within equal spacing. Rest kind of fell to the wayside, especially my personal health. I don't think I prioritized my health at all at that time. I was trying to make sure overt was good. I was trying to make sure my academics were good. I was trying to make sure that I had a decent social life. And so my health just deteriorated. I didn't really take care of myself at the time. In that sense, I do regret it. I do regret not taking more care of my health, because end of the day, health is wealth. So that's one thing that I do regret from that time.
Well, I can totally understand. Health is not something that was always in the forefront of our thinking. It's always something that, hey, if you go sit down with your career advisor at that time, they're like, what is it? What do you want to do? This or the subject you gotta take. This are the grades you need to have. No, there wasn't a time I sat in a meeting and someone told me that health is something I need to do. I remember in our IB days, the only time I did sports is because it was mandatory for IE. He said, need to do sports to pass the course. I said, okay, whatever. So I totally agree with that. So my question now is, I'm pretty sure you're running a business and you're still, well, both of us are still students, or you're going to university, right?
University right now.
Oh, okay, you're in university.
At the University of San Francisco. But yeah, so honestly, it's been good because I've learned how to manage my time. So I think that's really important, to be able to manage your own time, and just being taught how to take care of yourself is so important.
So my question now would be, as a founder, people would often go to you expecting answers, right? You need to get those answers straight and fast. And yet you're still a student and we're both learning. So when people expect you to have the answers, how do you balance it when you yourself, you're still figuring it out?
So I think one thing I realize is humility, understanding when you are wrong and when you just don't know. And to be honest, I don't know a lot of things. I'm not a genius. For one, I know about the things that I love, and I know about the things that I need to know. And I don't make it say that I know everything. I don't like to gloat about that. I don't like to gloat about my own personal achievements, because I feel that in life, you will never know everything. There's always something more to learn, and there will be always someone better than you, smarter than you, better than you. So the reality is, you just have to be content in the progress you make each and every day. And so when someone asks me something that I don't know, I will say, I don't know how to help you. Or if someone is talking about a topic that I'm not knowledgeable on, again, I will not mention anything. I'll say, to my knowledge, this is what I know. I think a good example is with my own personal close friends. When they're talking about economics, for example, I don't study economics. So when they're talking about it, I listen. I don't really say, oh, you're wrong. No, this is how it works. No, because clearly they know better than me. But obviously, if they're going to talk about business, then I can choose my own thought, so to speak. So just knowing your lane and knowing where you, I guess, specialize in is very important. I think people make the mistake of thinking you need to know everything to be seen as someone who is A, smart, or B, a leader. That's not true. I mean, I think I don't want to name Elon Musk as the greatest leader in our life. No, he's very controversial. For a lot of things I disagree about him. But to be fair, it's a good businessman. That I think is a fair statement. And what I respect about that aspect of him is that he listens to his engineers. For example, with SpaceX, he listened to his engineers. He didn't say how this should work, how you should land a rocket. No, he, again, listened to how his engineers would approach the problem. Again, with that being said, there, Elon Musk, that's a whole kind of words. I used to look up to him. I don't anymore. Just for the record. That guy has problems.
Well, that's okay. We can change our preferences during time. Well, people change during time, so that's how that. So you talk about Elon Musk, and every time he goes up in stage, he will often say that it's through failure that we learn the most. So my question now to you as a founder, because most of our audience will want to learn from you, what's one of the mistakes or challenges from the early days of Overt that still shapes how you lead your team today?
I think one of the early mistakes I made was, okay, this might actually be confusing, but the next thing, I think it was focusing and prioritizing it too much. I think at a certain point, I made it my whole life and identity. That was a big mistake, because in reality, what I did was it made achievement and success seem not as important or not as rewarding, because again, you're putting in so much effort and time, you expect more. When reality is, you're a 16, 17-year-old running your own business. Any minor achievement is good. progress is progress. And I think I was very harsh on myself because I put in so much time and energy into it, and I didn't prioritize my life outside of it. So I think my number one takeaway from that is, if I was to do it again, I would make sure that I can at least take time off to spend time with my close friends, prioritize my family, prioritize my health, especially. I think health, again, back to that topic, I really wish I took care of my health further during that time, because I'm not paying the price now. Thankfully I'm quite healthy, touch wood, but I wish I would took my health seriously sooner.
So you need to be healthy. You serve NS in Singapore. So for those who don't know, in Singapore, guys that are 18 above, they need to serve national service, right? So you go through the military. So you need to be fit. So my question now is, you decided to do data science, am I correct, for your course? So how do you think esports or gaming communities will evolve now that we have AI?
With AI, okay, this is a great question. Okay, so in terms of AI, I think with regards to esports, it's going to affect it a lot. It's already affected my line of work. So in fact, right now, I've shifted the business model from, foundationally speaking, from an esports organization to more of a creative agency. So before Overt functioned primarily foundationally as an esports organization, we'd make money mostly from our players participating in tournaments, sponsors, etc., investors. But now we've shifted to a model where we hire creative, like designers, editors, videographers. We hire them. We've hired them before for our esports side to, create the graphics, the videos for promoting our teams, right, during events. So now we put them more at the forefront, where now they are getting clients because of us, because of our brand recognition, and we take a commission off of their projects. And the reason why people are like going towards these artists more and more is because, again, with the advent of AI art and AI work, it's making things increasingly less authentic. Because at the end of the day, AI artwork is not artwork. It's not speaking AI. What it does is it takes in data and regurgitates it. It is not creative by definition. Maybe one day it can do something on its own without any data input. But that's not how machine learning works, firstly. Secondly, people will always want to pay for human authenticity. And that's what we are selling through our design studio. So that's how I feel about it right now. I think.
So my question, yeah.
Sorry?
My question now would be, what made you decide to go through more in the creative space? Because you said a while ago, esports, people think, okay, it's just computer games, teams play, you get a commission once they win or something like that. So what made you decide to go through the creative side? Can you tell us a story on that?
Business model.
Yeah.
One, I feel like diversification in a business is very important. I mean, again, a lot of businesses don't need to diversify, but especially since Overt is technically a service-based business where we are providing basically entertainment, it's very important for us to diversify and not rely on one revenue stream. Esports, end of the day, there was a huge explosion in 2020 during the pandemic because everyone sat at home. More entertainment was mostly online, so esports naturally blew up. I can say right now, a lot of money came from crypto sponsors actually. So again, these crypto sponsors, as you know, they aren't all, let's just say, sustainable, right? And once this bubble burst, it burst. And the downfall was crazy. A lot of organizations shut down and they couldn't recover because they had no backup plan or no safety net. And I saw this coming. I saw this whole esports bubble imploding. And it is very important for me to diversify, to make sure that the organization is healthy and my passive income is healthy. So yeah, that's why I diversified. Just to make sure that the org is standing. And also, another reason why I did it was because, for one, I was happy with what we did within esports. We got into the Fortnite World Championship. I never thought in a million years I would have my own brand logo in a stadium. So that was an amazing experience. And I realized at that point, I did what I wanted to do. I did the impossible for me. Because, I was just a kid with a dream. So I achieved that. And I'm so grateful that I could achieve that. And now my goal is just to make sure it's sustainable and continues moving forward. So that's why I took more of an overseer role, make sure the business is running on autopilot and it's sustainable rather than just chasing constant highs. End of the day, I want to also do other things in my life. I don't want to be just defined by esports. And I want to, again, focus on my health, focus on my close friends, focus on my family. So
You said something very interesting a while ago, where when you transition, you realize that people are paying for human authenticity. That even though AI is out there, able to do AI logos, AI copy for your brand or AI video ads, people are still wanting people, right? It's just not enough. So my question now is, with all of this inflows of different AI tools, every single day you're bombarded with AI news. Just open LinkedIn. Everyone is an AI expert now. I'm not. I'm just And that's why I'm asking people like you to learn more about this.
You're definitely an expert.
No, I'm not. Well, if your definition of expert is having a degree on it and knowing like a PhD level, then definitely no. Yeah, yeah. So I would ask you this question is what does it mean to build a brand without losing your voice?
Is that using, sorry?
Without losing your voice. Because everything is about AI, everything is about being more standardized
Yeah.
or being fast. And you're in a business and you understand economies of scale, right? The more you produce, the cheaper the cost. So when you hire these designers, they're very expensive, like thousands per hour or per project, right? So even with that, what made you decide, even though they're that expensive, the cost is worth it? And how do you build the brand with your voice?
So we were lucky enough to already have the esports side of it. That was our basically our marketing funnel. So how I see it is esports is the marketing driver for a business like a creative agency, etc., etc. So again, I think it's very hard, especially now, to have your own voice with AI and such. And to be honest with you, I think the one thing you should do as a business owner, as someone who wants to project their voice on the internet, is you have to be as authentic as possible and show everything, the good, bad, ugly. End of the day, we all know social media like Instagram, for example, or TikTok. It's like a highlight of your life, right? And I feel like the more real, the more vulnerable you are online, as dangerous as it is, will draw more attention. Because authenticity is a currency nowadays, especially with AI. And, with the rise of influencers and influencer marketing, everything is increasingly becoming more fake and fake. And I feel the people are definitely craving for something real. A good example would be if you follow the fitness influencer space, there's this guy called Sam Sulek. He recently blown up on YouTube. He has millions of subscribers now, mainly because all he does is he just records a video every day of going to the gym. That's it. But there's no editing, there's no nothing flashy, anything. It's just him going to the gym and talking. That's it. So that's proof that people just want authenticity. They want to see real people doing real things, not someone buying a Lamborghini and then pranking someone or gifting it to someone, and it's all for show, all for YouTube views, right? So yeah, end of the day, authenticity is what matters the most. And if you want to have a voice, you have to be authentic.
But this one was very interesting because it's not that influencers are becoming fake. There's the rise of AI influencers.
Right.
There are influencers that are not even real people, and there are some big brands out there that are trying AI influencers. And most of these AI influencers have millions of followers. So my question now would be, you have a team of you have a tight team of creatives, right? So before this interview, I opened LinkedIn and there's this guy that claims he has AI agents and he's selling a workflow that all of these AI agents, they're in this organization graph where this is a chief marketing officer. And this agent will direct this little agent to be a sales copy, or I don't know. What's your view on that?
I think I think those are not. I wouldn't say scam. Scam is a very strong word, but I would say they're grifters. They are just riding the AI wave. Um, I feel like AI is being used as a buzzword these days to drive interest and to drive engagement, drive uh product sales. I think honestly, I wouldn't trust in most of them unless you have a proven business model, a proven product. Then there's no point in talking, right? There's this one. I remember this one person back in university. I'm not gonna name him, but he was trying to make a project for his computer science program, and as if it was something to do with it was like a dating app, but it was a dating app, but it was actually just AI. So basically, his plan was to create a dating app, right? But he would fill all the users with AI to generate interest, and then basically his justification was, we have people like the whole men loneliness epidemic, something like that, where men aren't getting matches on Tinder or whatever. So he said that instead of using Tinder, they can use my app and they'll get matches. But the users don't know the matches are just AI talking to them. Because it's fake at some point. That's, I don't know. People doing that kind of stuff, I feel like, honestly, it pisses me off because you're just trying to cash in on the AI wave. That's what happened with crypto. And look where we are now. If it happened with AI, it's just sad. But that's human nature. So you can't really do much about that.
It's interesting you said that because when you open Instagram, there will be a lot of these people that claim that I created an AI influencer and they can be an AI chatbot. And to talk with this AI chatbot, which has their own voice and personality, you need to pay, I think, $50 an hour or something like that. And they're making millions.
They are.
The thing is, people know it's fake. but they're treating it as if it's keep therapy or something like that.
Right.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's someone out there that says instead of going through therapy, I'm going to talk with ChatGPT. Like I'm pretty sure,
Oh, ChatGPT
100%.
is a really good therapist.
Really? You think so?
I don't use it for therapy. Okay. Okay. I'll admit it right now. I use ChatGPT for like basic like nuisances. For like something that bothers me, I'll ask ChatGPT like, "Am I right in feeling this way?" Like that. Online is a really good method, like tool to process emotions. So I would say I'm a quite emotional person. I'm just naturally emotional, but I don't want to obviously show that. Or I don't want to like display too much emotion because I feel, that's kind of something that you need to trust someone with, right? So for me to like keep my emotions in check and not seem, too emotional, I use ChatGPT to make sure I can express that emotion.
Yeah.
Therapy, I don't think so, but yeah, I won't lie. I do use ChatGPT for that. So useful because it allows you to process it out loud, which is good. It's good. It saves time. I don't want to bother my friends about something, that I don't know. It's a it's a slippery slip for sure. Like the moment you start using it like a partner, then that's like, whoa, okay, you're cooked.
There's some people in character AI that does that. That so yeah, they talk to their chatbot as if it's a partner. That the company needs to put safety gateways to make sure nothing explicit is gonna happen between the chatbot. Or yeah, so it's those safety guardrails. And I totally agree. Like chatbot, like ChatGPT has memory. So every time you create a new chat, they'll still remember what happened from your other chat. So that's great. So and there was a trend in TikTok where girls were talking to ChatGPT because apparently they found his voice attractive. So and yeah, they were like, ChatGPT, can you like raise me or something? And yeah, chat is like smooth or something. I don't know. David, you need to catch up. Just
Yeah.
kidding. So my question now would be, so before this interview, you said you're using a lot of AI tools now for your business. Can you just share what is it like for you as running a business?
ChatGPT. Honestly, ChatGPT is so good for like I guess how to say it, tedious tasks. Is very good at creating documents, Excel sheets quickly and easily and summarizing notes. Like for example, in meetings, again, back like 2, 3 years ago, we used to have a guy literally just like writing notes down, typing notes down while we have a meeting. Again, waste of time and waste of resources. I'm sorry, but again, we're having a dedicated person for meeting notes. We don't need that. I'm sorry. It's a bit useless. And that's all he did. I love the guy. But that's all he did. But now we replace him with ChatGPT, and to be real, much easier, much faster, no mistakes. So I think for a very meaningless task, so to speak, it's easy and it's very useful. But I think people make the mistake of giving it a very lot of workloads to work through. Very important stuff. I don't think that's a good idea. But it does handle like financial statement. Good for that. It's really good.
Just curious on how good is chat with maths? Because I've heard that ChatGPT is good with summarizing notes or writing articles, but with mathematics, they said that we do quite mistakes.
Yeah, it does make mistakes. So I won't lie. Okay. For example, we have to use AI for how do I explain this? Okay, basically in esports, so players compete in tournaments every week.
Mhm.
So all this data is published online by the developers. And so again, he can extrapolate how that would perform in like 3 months, 6 months. He can invest early, like a stock. You can invest early, get the player now, and then he wins the tournament in 6 months, and boom, you have like one of the best players for such a cheap price. And so we use AI for extrapolation data. And now we don't use ChatGPT, another tool that we subscribe to. My guy knows what it is. It's not DeepSeek. It's one of those tools. But yeah, we don't use ChatGPT for data extrapolation because it's repeatedly hasn't made mistakes, but it's very hard to get it to do it consistently. It always doesn't understand the like question we want or the answer we want. So it's tedious with ChatGPT. Basically it's not a math tool. It's more of an assistant.
What's your take on prompt engineering? Because I know there's a lot of people that sell their prompts to make your ChatGPT responses more accurate or better. Like, what's your view? Like, how helpful is that?
I think okay. Personally, I don't have that much experience with prompt engineering. I talk to ChatGPT like it's my friend. Uh serves me well, but I think it's okay, I think it's important to understand prompt engineering and understand how it works. But to buy prompts is a very stupid idea. I think that's crossing a line, because let's be real, you can go on Reddit or anywhere, just find good prompts. I don't think you should pay for prompt engineer. That's just too much.
So my question now would be, hey, you talked to us a while ago on how you fired that note-taking guy and you had ChatGPT because he's way better, faster, does not complain, and doesn't ask for raises,
Yeah.
for salary raise. So my question now would be, as we're the class that's going to enter the workforce in a few years, so a few months, my question now would be, in your hiring process, what are your skill set that you believe people should have, at least our generation should have, to be more AIA proof,
Yeah.
so that we don't end up like that note-taking guy?
Yeah. Okay, I won't lie with you. I won't lie. I'm still figuring that out too. I'm very scared about that. I read this one article about A27 where, it's the idea that AI can reach super intelligence where they surpass human intelligence and it can do everything better than a human, which is very scary because that means we're obsolete. So will that happen? I don't know. I'm not an AI engineer, so I can't really comment on that. But back to the question, my thinking right now is to be AI proof, he has to at least be diversified in his skill set. You can't just do one thing. I think that's one mistake that I would have made if I stuck with computer science. Just a bit of context. I actually was a comp sci student before. I really wanted to pursue comp science because again, I believe that computer science would probably be the future. But inevitably, right? Technology and all that. It makes sense. But then I quickly realized that's the same thinking that people had 100 years ago in the last century with factories, assembling and stuff. People thought that's going to be a future, right? Manufacturing is the future. Look what happened. They got replaced by robots. Now, a lot of factories are now automated. The same thing is happening with computer science students. They are kind of I don't want to say factory workers of the 21st century, but they're being replaced at a very alarming rate. But why is this? It's because, again, the skill set is very easy to automate, especially machine learning. The whole premise of machine learning is to eliminate that dev, is to have the AI work on itself. So this has been happening for years already. This is not like a overnight thing. This has been in the process for a while. But end of the day, there are many things that AI can do, but humans will never trust to do. That security, that's hospitality, that's gonna be finance. These sectors will obviously be affected, don't get me wrong, but won't be as affected as computer science or information technology. So my advice, or my thinking, I don't say advice because I'm also in the same predicament. My thinking is to diversify a skill set to be centered around services or products where humans only trust humans to work with. But let's fix balls. How don't people want to trust AI? I mean, drones is already a very controversial topic, right? So the point is to do something where trust in humans is the forefront rather than, oh, it can be automated. I trust the robot to do that. Again, I think a good example of this thinking is take, for example, a barista versus a Michelin star chef, right? I'm paying what, $5 for a matcha. A robot can do that. I don't really mind. I don't care. But if I pay $100 for let's say a lobster, risotto, salad, something very fancy, I want a chef to do that. I don't trust a robot. And I mean, even if a robot does that, it doesn't taste as good, right? So my thinking is just that. There are some jobs, obviously, within those sectors that can be replaced by AI, but not all. So just make sure to understand where there's a gap and where's your niche and exploit that.
Thank you. So my question now is, well, I asked that question in the point of view of an employee or someone who wants to do an internship, right? So, well, you're running Overt, you're the boss, the founder, CEO. So my question now would be, as a leader or a founder with AI going on, how does that impact your recruitment process?
I would say it has opened less doors for people. We're not looking for people, so to speak, because we don't need people. Which is a problem, I would admit. I mean, definitely a problem. But I want to say we don't need people in terms of raw manpower. We need specialized people who have a skill set that we can't replicate. So that's very important. I mean, actually, for one, I'm also doing an internship right now on the sides in Singapore at Marina One at this company called Octo. It's a fitness tech app. It's kind of an Uber for fitness. And thankfully, they didn't replace me for AI, so that's good. I'm more from the business sales development / product development. So yeah, again, I use AI for my internship as well to organize ideas, to see what works, see what doesn't. So I guess for me, the recruitment process, you just need to be specialized. That's really it. You just need to know what you're doing. You need to be really good at what you're doing. I wouldn't say I'm the best at what I do, but I would say there's a reason why I'm able to do what I do. Right? Just being able to focus and lock in on that is very important. I think another example is my friends in uni, some of them are nursing majors. And I asked them you don't seem like the nursing type. This guy's like an Indian guy and he seems like the kind of finance bro. He has that finance bro mentality, right? And he said, I know, I was going to do finance. I'm like, yeah, I know. You seem like the kind of guy. And he's like, yeah, but I chose nursing because, in fact, I like taking care of people. And again, a robot, I don't think people would trust a robot nurse. So they want a human to help them, treat them, care for them. And that's why he chose nursing. And again, nursing is a really big job right now. It's really good. There's a high demand for it. So yeah, just finding your specialization and understanding how it helps people is very important.
Yeah, well, a lot of Filipinos are nursing. Sorry, in nursing. I remember when I was, when you said that, listen, if you can be a doctor, but you can be a nurse. So that just brought some memories. So my question now is, just out of young founders that are very into tech, into AI. So how do people try to balance on, of course, we need to ride through the wave. Because if you want to take VC funding, it gets attraction. Like what your friend said, I'm going to create a dating site with AI agents, right? Just to get funding. And I'm pretty sure he did get funding or got interest or it piqued your interest that even in this interview, you remembered him. So my question now is, yes, a lot of founders are riding through the wave of AI, but then how do they balance that with trying to create a business or a product that actually solves a problem?
Solves the people or solves the problem? Well, either or.
Yeah.
Both. Okay. Honestly, okay. So in business management, we learned, right, that we have to identify a problem and solve it. I feel that's very true for good business. But honestly, from what I've seen and what I've experienced, a lot of businesses exist just to exploit users. And that's how they can get so much funding bits, how they get so much money. Um, it's increasingly becoming more and more rampant. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know, especially in this day and age, I don't know how one can really solve a problem or help people without losing a lot of money at the start. But at the start of whole culture, to be fair. But I think the notion of making a lot of money from the get-go is a different idea. Unless you're doing something illegal or very malicious, like the dating app. But again,
And picking up.
people who have succeeded doing it the right way. Again, it's very hard, very difficult, but that's why they all, I guess Forbes study under 30, right? So, yeah.
My question now would be, you've been running this business. I think even before we met in high school, you told me, Chris, I'm running over it and all. So my question now would be, have you ever walked away from an opportunity because it didn't feel aligned with your values, even though it looked good on paper?
Yeah, I think this is one company that approached us a while back. They were promoting, what was it? It was a crypto company based in Saudi Arabia. And I remember it was very sketchy, very sketchy. They wanted wire transfer money to my account, and I clocked that because a lot of our companies, you don't wire transfer the money directly. I didn't want to be involved with all that. And the way they approached me was very weird. They pushed through Discord, signed already. No contract. They were like, it's fine, we'll just wire you the money, you can do whatever you want. And I immediately thought, no, okay, this is very bad. This feels like money laundering. So, and then another thing was the crypto like coin. I had no idea the name at the time. They never wanted to say the name. And they said, oh, we're just gonna do like a 6-month course. I said, what do you mean by course? And it's like, oh, just part of our business plan for Web3. It is obviously a puppet dump scheme. And so he didn't want to be involved at all because firstly, again, that'll ruin my reputation. Secondly, that'll mess up my whole family. Like if I'm involved with a wire transfer from Saudi Arabia for some pump and dump scheme, they'll probably blame me for money laundering and I'll get arrested. He was good, but the morality and the consequences. And again, I don't want to shill coin to my follower base and lose my trust. That just ruins my whole future. And I'll just be known as a scammer. So
It's really hard, especially when we, as young people, we often go through social media like TikTok and Instagram, and there's often this get rich quick schemes. So if you buy my course, $20 a month, you can be as rich as me. Look at my Lamborghinis. Be my
oh my god, yeah, I've seen so many I'm 18 years old, young. I'm driving like Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Some of them all legitimate, actually. Don't get me wrong, but again, it's just it feels bad because I want to be like them. Obviously, I think everyone does. But I realized one thing about those kind of influences is that's their whole life. That's it. That's all they have. All they have is that Porsche and that house. They don't have many friends. Again, this is generalized, but they don't have many friends. They sacrifice a lot to be there, and it does take sacrifice. But I realize, is that the life I really want? Do I want a life where it's just me? I realize there's more to life than just money, influence, and fame. I think life is about creating memories that are meaningful, fostering connections that are beautiful. And I realized, 60 years down the line, maybe, when you're thinking about life, I don't think the first thought would be like a Porsche. I think your first thought would be your family, your friends, your loved ones. And that's what I realized is the most important is making sure you are just happy with yourself and the people.
I think that's very touching. It reminded me of the movie The Godfather,
Yeah.
the iconic Godfather 3, where he has all the riches, but end of the day he died alone, which is quite lonely. But I remember when his father died, most of his family members were around him at the last day. So that was really a touching. So I totally agree with what you said. So my last question, Vic, is what's the conversation you wish more young founders are having but are not?
I think, to be honest, not seeing everyone as competition. I think what happens is people see, other people succeeding as, oh, this guy is better than me. I need to be better than him. He's my rival. Rather than, you're really good. I want to be part of that success. I want to work with him. I want to collaborate. I want to try to be, you know, improving with him. I think I think a lot of people, young people especially, what they see is they see life as a race when it's actually a marathon. And then we all finish. Maybe some of us finish earlier, we finish later, finish in between. But we all finish this marathon. It doesn't matter if you're first or you're last. It matters you finish. And you finish the way you want to finish. I think it's very important to, if you see someone struggling on the marathon, you pick them up and you hold their hand and you guide them. Or, other way around, you ask for help. It's very important to just be open-minded to opportunities and collaborations to foster connections and make, life just a little easier. So, yeah.
What you really said was very important because I remember even now we're often in this competitive stance, like going through internships. They'll say, hey, if you want to go to this huge company, there's a lot of competitors. So what people often do is they won't share information or they'll try to spread rumors to bring it down. So, and I would say school also feeds us this idea that hey, we are a competitive school, so you need to have the best grades. So if you're not that great, that means you should put other people down. I remember I don't know if you were there because it reminded me of when I first went to business class in our school. You were there.
Hey, that was a battleground. Oh my god.
I don't know if you were there. So for my listeners, I'm gonna tell you what happened. So it was the first day of class. Well, for me, because it was the pandemic. So I arrived in Singapore quite late. And we often have this competition in Kahoots. So that was just a fun game for me. That was not David is laughing now. That was not serious for me. I just thought it was fun. And I just sat there in the table. It was my first day. And it was pandemic during the time, right? So I just came up from how do you say this lockdown. I need to
Yeah.
isolate myself for 2 weeks before joining the group. So I isolated myself. I traveled in a new country on my own, new class. I knew nobody when I went to the school. So I was going through a lot of stress because there were a lot of changes. And there's this guy that just approached me and he said, "You're a cheater." I was like, I was so I don't know if David was there. I don't know if you were
It is
yeah, you were there.
Indian guy, right?
Okay. I didn't mean to say his name, but anyway. So that's it's fine. You can edit that out. It's fine. Okay, editor, edit that out, please. But yes, there was this guy that went up to me and said, "You're a cheater." At first, I misheard him. I thought he said I was a winner. I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "You're a cheater. You know this." I was like, "Excuse me, who are you? And why are you so stuck up with being the first in Kahoot?" You know how crazy that sounded to me at the time. Like I left my family and the thing is, it was during COVID, so I didn't go back home. And every single class, he was so stuck up in the first. It was just very toxic. And I was just looking at David. I was like, man, how do I deal with this? So that when you said about not seeing everyone as a competition, that really strikes to me because this is not going to be the last time I'm going to be dealing with people like that. And especially in the workforce where money is involved, makes people bring out the worst in them. So, not to be competitive and to be collaborative, that's a lesson I think not only we need to learn, but some people learn too late, I would say. Some people learn that too late. So, I think that was a very good lesson Thank you, Daivik. So before we go, it's to play a 1 minute game. It's very easy. So it's just 1 minute. Let me know when you're ready. Then the clock is gonna stop.
Honestly, about for roots, I remember. Oh my god. The thing is, Ishan and there was this one more guy. I forgot his name. We were like the top three in business, right? So like every time we'd be like first, second, third, every time in whatever order, right? And then when you came in, oh my god, it shifted the whole dynamic because you beat all of us. Like I don't know, you beat like 2 or 3 times over, and then we were like that. I mean, I was like, I got dethroned. She was better than us, bro. But yeah, it was so funny. It was good times, good times. But I'm sorry you felt that way. I'm sorry you felt that way.
No, it's fine. The thing is, it's like, it was a game for me. I remember one time I was in the clinic because I had cramps because it was time of the month for me. So I messaged the professor, the teacher. And she's like, You know what, Jason, that's great. Your competitors here and we're going to pay good. So it's up to you. I went inside that classroom out of the clinic. I was like, I don't care. I want to win.
Yeah, of course.
So
I think you won. You won. I've never seen you.
I don't remember. I didn't really care. The thing was, it was funny for me because I learned how to deal with that as a game. Like, okay, it's a game, but I don't. Oh, I remember the last day of class, we were saying about each other and we're supposed to say good things about each other. I don't even remember that. I was like, I need to see something good. And I guess I was quite good at it. That someone's like, whoa, why is that so personal? Like you're making a joke out of it, but
Yeah.
it was weird. And the thing is, it happened for 2 years straight. Like 2 years straight. Sometimes I just went home. I was like, I need a chill guy. So I was like, you know what, David, what are you up to? Why are you just stuck with other people? But the thing is, I think the professor or the teacher liked that. The competition, I mean, that she never put us in the same team.
Yeah. No, she always put us in separate teams.
So I would say competition's good as a fun way because it makes you better. It may be better. It may be better for sure. But just like your point a while ago is not everything is a competition in the sense that it's not against the person, it's against their ideas, or you need to work as a team to compete their competitors. So that's what makes you successful. But anyway, we have a 1 minute game to play. So let me know. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
First question. One thing that always makes you smile.
Makes me smile. A very loud call.
Favorite hobby.
Gym probably. I like gym a lot.
You're a gym bro now?
I would say I'm a gym bro. Nah, I'm not a gym.
No, just kidding. Just kidding.
I just like I like it. I like yeah.
Okay. Favorite thing in your room.
My PS5. I even got the controller.
Period. Oh.
All black.
Dream concert to attend.
Okay, I mean I already did. I went to Coachella. So that
Wow.
it. Yeah. And I saw my favorite artists, Yeet and Travis Scott. So that's good. But I want to see Ken Carlson for sure.
Okay.
Ken Carlson in Playboy Party.
Your daily motivation.
My dad.
Favorite movie.
Favorite movie. Ooh. Tron Legacy.
Okay. Last question. Sing a line from your favorite song.
They have a lot of swear words.
Just.
I'll choose. How about this? I'll choose a song that's not so explicit
Okay.
and not just hip hop. Okay, wait. Sing a song. I can't rap, so I can't choose a rap song.
Yeah.
This is Sophia.
Yeah.
I'm not a singer. Okay, hold on. I better like clip. Hold on. I'm gonna choose a better song. This is so difficult. This is so difficult. I've never done this before. I don't mean to karaoke. I hate karaoke. Skip on ask gigs. Sleep. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Daivik, for that. It's just a lie. I'm not asking you to sing your song or concert.
Thank you. But honestly, my top artists are currently in Instagram Spotify. Okay, it's Ken Carlson, Yeet, Destroyed Only, Playboy Cardi, and Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay, Sabrina Carpenter is in the top 5 for that one. Thank you, Daivik, for being here. So before we go, where can people reach out for you? Is there something you want to promote?
If you want to reach out to me, just Instagram and LinkedIn. I don't really want to promote anything, but again, if you're interested in whatever I'm doing, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to. And yeah, I mean, that's about it.
What's the latest project you're working on right now? Perhaps it's something people want to hear.
But well, I'm internship. I'm working at that fitness tech company. That's mostly my thing. If you guys are interested in that, we have an app. If you download that, it's probably in the description. It's available only in Singapore right now. We're doing beta testing, so if you want to register, sign out, I'll go for it. It helped me a lot. Yeah, he'll be happy with me. I'll be happy because he's happy, and I'll probably buy an iPad with the bonus. So yeah, please help me achieve my bonus. Thank you.
Hey, what's the app so that people can download?
Octo, OQDO.
So you said that's Uber for what again?
Basically, you just book coaches and gyms. So
So how's that? Does it like Tinder where you swipe left and right, or how does it?
God, I mean, okay, that is coming. That is actually coming. That's a feature that I proposed, not to toot my own horn, but I did propose. Basically, it's called Swipe to Train. So we're gonna update the UI UX soon. But basically, you can swipe left or right for training buddies. So let's say you want to go to the gym, right? But you're kind of lonely. You want to be gym with someone, right? So you go on Octo, you get the app, and you swipe right, I want to gym with this guy, or swipe no, I don't want to gym with this guy. And same with other activities like cycling, boxing, running, etc. So really, it's an app to meet people and to work together, train together, have fun together, right? It's not a dating app. Please do not use it as a dating app, please. But I know for a fact some lonely guy will probably use it as a dating app. But again, that's free money for us. So again, if you're that desperate and you want to do it, be my guest. There's money in that pocket. But please don't. If you have some self-respect, don't use it as dating app. It's purely for fitness. But yeah. We're gonna implement our feature soon. Fingers crossed. And yeah, it's super exciting. I mean, again, any questions, please message me on Instagram or LinkedIn. And yeah.
Thank you for our listeners for being here, and see you in our next episode. Goodbye.